So
Agree.
I don't think we have to stay too much longer on them. Let's go ahead and head to the next. So two of the greatest leaders, we've seen, um, arguably in since after slavery, particularly during the civil rights movements and stuff like that. Of course, King and Malcolm, they both had their own philosophy on and ideas of how things should be done and how to gain our you know liberation from this vicious cycle that we've been stuck in even today, even though it seems like we're not, where they just tricked us into believing that we're not now. But I think a lot of us know that it's still not exactly where we would love it to be. So with King and with Malcolm, currently speaking, with the position that we're in now. First out, let me ask the panel: which side do y'all resonate with the most currently? Not during daytime. Let's say if we was to have a new leader, then and let's just say this stuff was going on currently in 2025. Which um which way do you think is the best way for Black America to follow now? Is it King's um ah, King's way of thinking and his thought process, or Malcolm?
Ladies first. I'll let Solo go first.
I mean, I tend to both definitely agree with both leaders and what they contributed. I think that as far as myself, I think that I would resonate more with uh, Malcolm X simply because um, I just think that him and my upbringing had somewhat more resemblance than I did with Dr. King. Also, I think that I think that we just have more of a attitude with it, like no nonsense. Like I don't want to say it to you the nice way, I don't want to. So I think I like that part about Malcolm X more. I mean, sort of his sentiments. Um, I'm sorry, it's someone outside of my apartment that's making a lot of noise. Yeah. Oh my God.
It's not
So
you good.
yeah, it'd be homeless people out there. So I think I would do. As far as Black America, I wouldn't say that we have more sentiments than either one of them. I think that if we was to lean towards either of them, maybe even 50%, we would be doing a whole lot more. So as far as like where I think the status of Black America is right now, I couldn't say that we more identify with neither one of them.
Yeah, we to just answer the question directly, I would definitely say X, and that's just to answer the question fairly, the way you asked the question. But Black America, we have the luxury of pulling from both, and that's a blessing because when you could blend both styles, that's a powerful way to move forward. But when we had that private conversation, Jamie, and we asked that question, if you lived in their time or if they was in ours, who would you march with? I would definitely march with X. Um, I remember, and I'm gonna go ahead and shout out my college, man. Shout out to Southern University, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and I'm shouting it out because another classmate brought this to my attention, and she was like, "King was brilliant." Remember this. Think about this, y'all. TV came out in the '50s, so she was bringing to my attention that King was brilliant to use the new technology of TV to show the world how nasty they was being to us. And she was sort of making the case that's why he chose the non-violent approach to make them look worse. And her concluding point was, if he would have took the X route, which I don't really think King had that in him when you study his upbringing. X did. X was a gangster before he converted to righteousness. But to King's credit, it was an effective method to use. Like, yo, let me, because what she was saying is if he would have chose to kind of put up violent resistance, it would have justified their treatment of us to the world, not just the country, but the whole world. Because once the TV came out, the whole world could pay attention to what was going on. So I thought that was a real interesting point she made, and it was the first time I had heard it. But to give you a short answer to your question, yeah, I'm X all day, man. I just think this is my last point. I hate to use this word, but the stigma, the religious stigma of Islam, kind of tied X hands. So many of us would have rocked with X, but because we was brought up in the black church, remember the black church goes back to 1777. So X comes around in the 1950s with this Islam stuff. And even if you pull up the stats and the data today, only 2% of Black America subscribe to Islam. So a lot of us was like, nah, we cool with the cultural stuff X doing, but we don't really want to get too close to the Islam stuff. And I think that kind of kept a lot of us at a distance. But we love X as a community, and I know that for sure. But yeah, it's X all day. To pass the mic. Go ahead.
Well, my answer shortly is I mean, obviously is X for me. But I would here's something that I want to present, because remember what we kind of talked on is doing that. Remember, I was saying, what about people 45 plus and up? Who would they resonate with the most? Now I get it that Malcolm seems to be the one that you would absolutely feel more protected with, because obviously Martin, he walking the streets and stuff, and they sicking dogs on you, spraying on your ass, all kinds of stuff. And he just said that saying, just we can withstand it and show the, like you were saying, because that's not the first one, the same thing that you just said, Taj. Gary Payton's son.
Uh-huh.
I was around him. His stepdad was talking to me about this, right? And he was saying that basically what you just said. Your colleague told you that they basically was able to televise to the world that this is how America treat their people.
And that was brilliant. Keep going. That was a brilliant strategy, though. I had never thought about it that way. You got it.
And I mean, yeah, and think about it this way. This is where I think we might get some headway. When X died, it was some people upset and stuff about it and stuff like that, but it did not get the same type